Good evening. We're calling the meeting Historic Resource Commission to order at 6 p.m. on May 6, 2025. The Historic Resource Commission charged. The Historic Resources Commission is charged with promoting, enhancing, and preserving the character of the historic district, as well as the landmarks, including the Courthouse Square Historic District. If you could please still rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please pause for a moment of silence. Minutes review and approval from the minute of April 2025. Commissions, do we have any corrections, anything that we need to add, take away?
I move they be approved as noted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Minutes will be carried as and approved as written. Now we have old business at hand. Evan, we're discussing COA 2507 at 106 West Elm Street. Can you please give us updates? Oh, I'm sorry. I would like to make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, so this was tabled from the last meeting in April. The applicant is not here tonight, obviously. He did email me and say he was out of town on business and it was unavoidable, and he apologizes. But I think he provided me all the information that hopefully you guys would need. I know pretty standard. I know Mr. Young wasn't here last month, but the above picture is the Little Brother Brewing. That's what it looks like now over at 106 West Elm Street. The bottom picture is a name change that's going, it changed ownership. And the gentleman is changing the name to Gorgeous Goose, or Gorgeous Gooses. And that is basically the signs will be in the same place. That archway, I know there was questions about where it says barrel and bottle. That's not up for anything. That's going to stay there and it's going to be like it is. We're only looking at the window signage. The square footage is about 10 square feet total for all three of the window signs, and the width of the building he sent over to me is about 25 feet wide. So it does meet that linear square foot requirement up to 12 feet. The only reason it came before you guys was because it is a window sign that goes across multiple panels. And so even though the previous owner had the same situation, I could not find where that was approved by you guys. And I want to just make sure we're doing it the right way. But that's really all I have on my staff report. Unless you guys have any other questions, I'll try my best to speak to. I'd be happy to help.
No, you answered all my questions because it does meet the linear square footage.
We didn't know that.
That's required, and we didn't have that idea until you brought that to our attention. They didn't have permission previously when they
Right.
put the initial up, and I did not find anything where, except it going across multiple times.
Mhm.
But it will still fit within the criteria, the way they are showing the design here.
Yeah, but do you have the guidelines pulled up somewhere?
I can pull them up.
That'd be, because there's an image of what it's supposed to be on there.
Mhm.
And I
Okay.
don't think it meets that guideline. Usually have it on me. I just didn't have it today.
I think I know the image you're talking about. I'll pull it
Yeah.
up real quick.
Yeah, right there. So the bottom right, yeah, where it says appropriate and inappropriate. my opinion, this looks more like the inappropriate picture than the appropriate picture. Because it's covering pretty much everything. Two doors and the thing on top.
Mhm.
And that, in my opinion, doesn't meet the guidelines.
And I think the concern about it covering the entire window is for visibility, maybe for police or in case of something happening inside. I'm not really sure, but
Yeah.
it does look more inappropriate than appropriate.
Right.
Um,
Like if it was just the
up to the
gooses
top.
up on top,
Uh-huh.
I'd be 100% okay with that. Or if it was just one of the doors, but it being on everything, uh, just going off of what this shows, it doesn't meet the guidelines.
And
That's my opinion though.
that corner is kind of indented in.
Yeah, it is.
And it's kind of dark. And I think maybe the multiple signs may help with visibility of the location, being able to spot it, if you're coming in to visit that particular place. But again, we have to go back to what's appropriate, what's inappropriate,
Mhm.
and I do concur that it is showing to be inappropriate, and being that they did not get permission initially, says that somewhere they may have known or not known, but regardless of the fact, it's our responsibility today to correct it. And
Yeah, I think this is just a case, just to not stand up, because I know there's no
Right.
accusations going around, but I do know that I think with this applicant, he just saw the signs and wanted to replace them.
Sure.
And so, yeah, whatever the mistake was made on the previous owner.
Right.
If there was a mistake to be made, but, yeah, it's just completely up to you guys to decide. I just wanted to say, don't forget to close the public hearing as well before we vote. So.
okay, did you have any comments?
I'm gonna have to disagree.
Yeah,
Because it's, if you look at the appropriate, inappropriate, where he's putting the signage is in, it's not outside on the walls there. Because, it's not his fault, there's no glass on those walls.
Sure.
It's
Sure.
just the doorway, and in here, you see all it is just the doorway. And of course, that one inappropriate does look very cluttered. but,
Yeah. Yeah.
With it just going on the glass in that entryway, I don't really have a problem with it. He's pretty much just changing there's already something above that door now, isn't it? I
Yes.
don't know what.
Yeah,
it is.
but just because it's already there doesn't mean it was right in the first
Yeah,
place.
very true.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you think can we go back to the drawing, the inappropriate and appropriate? My whole thing is that that's not an accurate diagram of the building that
It's
we're
not.
looking at. So that makes it complicated.
Yeah.
Because where the picture is now, where the logo is now, it looks like it's made to be a part of the brick, but that very well could be windows also.
I think those are supposed to be windows.
I was gonna say that all of this in the drawing, from my understanding too, is, yeah, this is like your storefront, like you guys are saying, it's not a perfect example, but these
Right.
all are windows. So I think with
Mhm.
It's
I think
pretty
it's
much
just
the
showing a
same
bunch-
size building. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
well, it's
same.
showing. Mhm.
Also,
Doors
if,
are in a little bit.
if you look at the
different.
wording down there, it says window signage is limited to a single pane of glass.
Single, yeah,
This would be 3.
3, yeah.
So we can override that, it says, but it's got to meet the,
It meets the square footage, the
Sure.
12 square footage,
sure,
linear square footage.
but it doesn't meet, I still don't think it meets the image shown, which is the way that we could approve it even if it was.
But the facing on the building is not what's up there.
Right.
The
Right,
facing-
that's what I'm saying. It's-
Right.
and
It's
it could
also
draw-
set back, and I was here a year and a half before I realized that was a bar. I mean, I will admit I don't get out much, but however, it
Is-
never occurred to
Start.
me
Is
that was an eating, drinking establishment. I had,
the
I mean.
beer and bottle, that's staying?
Yeah.
That's staying, yeah, the arch.
I almost would say, why don't they put gooses where the beer and bottle
That
is?
was my thought too, absolutely.
And
Yeah, I'm just
I
not
want it to
seeing
be
it.
seen.
Yeah, I'm
That
not
would
seeing
be-
that this is appropriate.
I don't want to spend another business's money,
Yeah,
small business, especially now.
Yeah.
They need all the help
Right.
they can get.
Right.
But with the way that the verbiage is on that, regardless of what the picture is, and of course, it's not this guy's fault that the
Right.
previous person, he's just wanting to upfit it. So if he left it the way it is, what could we do? Really nothing. We can't really make him take
Take
it
it
down.
down,
He's just
right.
wanting to.
Not that I would think, I don't think we'd issue any kind of, violation, but yeah, he submitted a sign permit
Yeah.
and it was going across multiple paints. He submitted another one. I can pull it up, but,
I mean, at least he's doing the right thing.
right.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's just,
And we appreciate that, but that still doesn't make it appropriate.
no.
It was inappropriately done
Yep.
initially without permission. And now for us to adhere to that is saying, well, we don't have to go with what's written. So that's where I have the problem. I
Mhm.
understand that corner, it is dark, and maybe he can come up with some type of lighting.
There is sorry to interrupt you, but just to your concerns about the corner, one of the other signs on the same permit I was able to approve on the staff level there's an existing sign that comes out
Mm-hmm.
on that, the wall that comes further out toward the street where all those picnic tables are, if you're familiar with the building.
Yeah.
There's what they call a blade sign, but a metal sign that kind of goes parallel to the road or perpendicular to the road. So it does he is going to get a new face on that, and, Goose's Barrel and Bottle, or Gorgeous Goose's Barrel and Bottle will be on that sign.
sign.
So this
Isn't
is just
that-
the window sign.
Isn't
So
that
you have a
building-
picture of that, that image of what you're describing?
I can maybe, I'll see if I can pull it up on Google Maps. Because it's just it's an existing sign.
Yeah, it's just, he's just,
Isn't that building, it was just rebuilt, wasn't it?
A while ago, I think.
Yeah,
Being-
I was just wondering what the original facade looked like, if it had glass originally.
Back when I was
I
younger,
don't think,
it was a restaurant.
is that where Carver's?
That was where Carver's was.
Yeah, okay, so that was nowhere, not even the same style of building.
Oh my goodness, look how, this image is very old. My goodness. Yeah, it's been a while. I don't know why that's still there. So
Wow.
let me go to Google Maps.
Yeah, the Carvers, they didn't have an alley, and now they have like an alley.
There we go. A little updated image. My goodness. Okay, this is the sign,
yeah.
right where my cursor is.
Is that a lidded sign or just a
No,
metal
it's
sign?
metal.
Sign?
I believe it's just a metal sign, and it was previously approved, so that's staying. The Barrel and Bottle is staying.
So,
This is the only thing y'all are.
before we vote, we can,
So it's mainly just he wants to put gooses up there and
That's
remove little brother.
Yeah.
All
It-
three of these.
Yeah.
yeah. And it makes it a little busy.
Yeah.
What would happen if he did gooses, but did it in a small
He-
type?
He could come back.
I would approve that as well.
Well, he could come back to me and not even need to be back before you guys.
Right.
Because if it's on one pane of window and it doesn't exceed 12 feet or the
That's,
frontage. So if you guys,
if he could adjust the,
if it is denied, yeah.
leave the font, the letter style, but reduce the size of the letters.
Yeah,
After she
we're done,
gets
yeah.
through her
Mhm, yeah.
discussion.
Yeah.
After she gets through her discussion.
Okay, well, yeah.
Yep.
Whatever y'all decide, but yeah, he would be able to reapply for something that I can approve on the staff level and not have to come back before you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. So I would make a motion that we close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oppose. Okay, so my thoughts are that it is under the
Inappropriate. category.
inappropriate, okay? My concern about that is that if we start making changes and not being consistent with what's written,
We have to deal with.
we have to
what's
do
written.
what's written,
That's
because
right.
if not, we'll get ourselves into
Yeah.
more of
Yeah.
these situations where people, well, that wasn't appropriate, but you did approve it.
Yeah,
And because things were not done initially, he came back to buy the business or go into the same building. I would feel it would be his responsibility to research, to make sure everything that's there
Yep.
is in place and it's appropriate. So because he did not or may not have taken that step, I don't know what the transactions of conversations were, but I'm going to say that it's inappropriate by the way that our bylaws and our handbook is written.
Based on the handbook.
And we need to stick with what's written
Yeah.
until we would have to go to council
Change the handbook.
and to change the handbook. And we're not in that position
That's not our job.
just to say, okay, well, regardless of what's written, we'll just bypass it this time because he's a new owner. Doesn't work that way, unfortunate. So I'm going to vote that we deny it unless he can make changes to where it's on one panel as it's written. The footage, we don't have a problem with the 12 foot they have that. So we're going to go back to exactly the way it's written. And that's my vote.
Yeah, Madam Chairman, as the board, we do have the capability to make changes like that. If we were just going by that guideline,
Jurisdiction, excuse me. So,
we can make some allowances. I'm just looking toward, small business,
Well,
and that's to
it
help
would-
them out.
it would cost him less to not put all those signs up.
Yeah.
It probably
Yeah.
would,
So-
unless he's already got them cut and ready to go.
and then again, without coming
Yeah,
before the
Yeah,
board,
that's-
then you've acted on, and I can't be responsible for that. I can only be responsible for what's written in the handbook.
Yep.
And that's what I'm sticking by. So I'm voting to
Yeah.
deny that on those
Okay.
premises.
Do you want to open the vote then?
Or make a motion, yes.
Yeah.
I make a
to vote.
motion that we now vote all in favor of
Yeah.
Yeah.
the way that it's being submitted.
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Nay. Nay carries. So we're going to.
Okay.
We're 3-1. So, yeah, so I'm got to stick by it because if we start
word.
wavering, that is the system.
Yep.
Okay, so, we, thank everybody though for their input and for their insight in the research that's been done here. It's very important that we do this research and, that we follow what's written. Moving along, I think that's the only item of business that we really had tonight, unless someone has something else. I'm going to move that we hear, from the council, who is also not present. He had, some things going on. He mentioned something on Arbor Day, and I don't want to repeat it because I don't remember exactly what he said. But then we have a staff report. Anything, Evan?
Nothing coming up that I know of. Arts in the Square is coming up. There's a lot of city involvement in that from what I can tell. So definitely check that out. I believe that's May 17th.
Wow.
And then I think Chair Clark Baldwin and Ms. Chin were talking before the meeting about Graham Walks, also another great program put on by the Parks and Rec Department. So I'll just plug that while it's on my mind. But they love everybody to participate, and you can get information on the website about that. But that's all I got.
Thank you. I make a motion that the meeting be adjourned. All in favor? Oh, I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?